Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Putty and welcome back for the final episode of 2018. It's Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. We are in the Macon Auditorium for the Night of the Champions. In our main event of the evening, Scythe, for the first time since winning the title, defends his Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Wrestling Championship against American Elemental, who is on one hell of a rookie year. He has beat some of the biggest names in this company, and tonight, after a victory over Kamikaze in a violent, vitriolic match where it all begins again, we'll get his opportunity to cap off his rookie year in the most sensational of ways. But he's got to get past the giant, the demonic, the client of Vinnie Cruz, one of the most destructive and sadistic champions in the history of Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. He's got to get through Scythe. Also tonight, Coastal Zone Tag Team action as the Ring Generals defend. No, they don't defend. They challenge for the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships against Devil May Care, the team of Acid and Stuntman, in a Coastal Zone Tag Team match. Of course, that is 2 singles matches between the tag teams. And if the scores are still even after the 2 matches, then they have a tag team match to settle the score. Plus the finals of the 2018 Hot Prospects Tournament as Logan Wolfsbane takes on Sean Carville in the final match. More to come, more to be talked about, more to do, and more to be hyped about tonight at the Night of the Champions. Let's get rolling for the final show of 2018. We open up with Island Boy Apollo, who comes out to the interview area, and he says to the crowd, tonight I've been given the opportunity to make a huge announcement. But more importantly than that, before we talk about that, I wanted to say that tonight I get to wrestle again for the first time since losing my Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, and it feels good. It feels good to stretch those legs, to stretch those muscles, and to use that heart of mine, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight like I fought every night so far. Because this is the start of the recovery. It's the start of that road to the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Championship. Because there's only one man in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling history that's won that title on 3 occasions, and his name is Findlay O'Faraday. And it's given me so much pleasure to look at those record books. It's given me so much pleasure to see my name amongst names like Cameron Vesey, amongst names like Bulldozer Brandon Smith. It's given me so much pleasure to see me in those record books, but there's one record that I still have to get, and that is a 3-time Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Champion. So tonight starts that journey, and it begins another journey for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, because the announcement that I've been given the pleasure to make is that starting with the Ripcord Invitational next year, we will be holding all of our shows going forward in the Charlotte Garden, the 1,000-seater building, only a few miles north of here. So I tell you what, as this journey begins for MAW and this journey begins for Island Boy Apollo, let's get out there and show the world what we're made of. And he does indeed go out there and defeats Alvin Serra in 6 minutes and 35 seconds with an Island Driver. Got the crowd hotter, a very good performance from both men as Island Boy Apollo continues his momentum with his hot, fiery, fast-paced, high-octane adrenaline rush, brawling, and that heart of his, that charisma and that passion. It's always a party while Island Boy Apollo is around, and he continues to prove it as we start the Coastal Zone Tag Team match for the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Tag Team Championships, as Dean Waldorf defeats Acid 2 by pinfall with a Waldorf salad toss. 53C minus there. Very good match, actually, between these two. It's the usual stuff where Dean... that's the thing, is that Dean... It's really hit or miss, because Dean either sets a pace or he gets completely disrupted by it, and Acid is trying to get those high-flying maneuvers. He's trying to throw caution to the wind, trying to use those nasty... he hits a destroyer of some sort, hits those drop kicks, manages to do a, arrow-style tope to the outside, where he just uses his head... it's basically a flying headbutt to the outside. But Dean... Dean will work him down. I imagine Acid goes for some sort of flying maneuver, and Dean just grabs his arm and twirls him round in a spectacular method to get him locked in an arm bar, and then just slows the pace down, works him down, grinds everything to a halt, and manages to finally defeat Acid with a Waldorf salad toss. Good stuff from these two. As Sid Collier is back in MAW, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, and he defeats Orson Bergeron in 5 minutes and 33 seconds by submission with a Texas Cloverleaf, showing that he's got that clinical singles edge. You know, he lost the Mid-Atlantic Singles Champion a couple months ago, but he manages to pick up the victory over Orson here. Big victory for him there. And after the match, Sid gets on the mic and he says, you know, when I said that the end of the Mid-Atlantic Championship reign for the Dynamite Express would be the end of the Dynamite Express, I meant it. You know, as much as I love that tag team, and as much as I love being one half of the World Tag Team Champions, I've got to have a singles career. I've got to go out on my own. And it's something that I promised, and it's something I've got to deliver on. Cameron Jones comes out with the other half of the tag team titles, and he says, Sid, what do you hold in your hand right now? Huh? I don't know if you know this, but you are holding one of the most prestigious championships in the industry today. And Sid starts to smile. He realizes what's going on here. Sid, I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to give away 8 years of my life for nothing. And Cameron starts like slyly smiling and nodding and saying, so I don't know about you, Sid. As much as I want to start my singles career too. As much as I want to go on and dominate this industry on my own. We have a duty. No. We have the honor of holding the greatest tag team championships in the industry today. And I will be damned if I let that opportunity go to waste. So whether you're with me or not, we're going to go out there night in, night out, and we're going to defend these titles. Because we are the greatest tag team in this business. And we are holding the greatest tag team championships in this business. And we deserve to make this reign just as good as any of our Mid-Atlantic regional reigns. Now, I don't care if you're with me. I'll go out there and I'll do it on my own. Because quite frankly, I am not giving up 8 years of my life and 8 years of my career just to sit back and forfeit these tag team championships. But I need to know if you're with me. Are you with me, Sid? And he holds out his hand, and Sid says, I guess it can't hurt to put a few more feathers in the cap that is the Dynamite Express. And Sid shakes Cameron's hand, and the Dynamite Express are seemingly back together after just 6 months apart to defend their World Tag Team Championships. And then I'm about to have a decent reaction from the crowd, but Subpar Wrestling, Stuntman defeated Marv Stadler by pinfall with a 450-degree splash. You know, Stuntman, one of the things about him, pulling back the curtain, that's always plagued Stuntman's career, is he's either really good or really shit, and tonight just wasn't his night. Hopefully he can pull it together for the tag team match. But he was off his game. They don't click. It didn't quite work. It was just awkward. You know, Marv tried to do some throws, and Stuntman just, you know, didn't quite realize that was what Marv was doing. Thought that Stuntman was going to get a move off, and wondered why Marv wasn't selling. They kind of just bump into each other a couple times. There's an awkward moment when Marv seemingly got a 3 count. But the ref was like, no, you're supposed to kick out. And was like, no, that wasn't a 3 count. It was really awkward. There was a few botches. It was just, it was meh. There wasn't really a story in the match because they kind of fucked it up. Bastards. So, that was that match. So, American Elemental is being interviewed at the interview area by Sweet Tabitha, and she asks him, what is it like to be out there against Scythe tonight, to have one of the biggest opportunities of his career? What is it like to be the number 1 contender to the Mid-Atlantic Regional Heavyweight Championship? And American Elemental looks like he's about to speak when Kamikaze comes on screen and stares down American Elemental, and he just yanks the mic away from him and says, don't think this is over, Elemental. Our match proved nothing at where it all begins again. I'm still determined to wipe you off this map and off of this company. So good luck tonight, because I don't care whether you're holding the Mid-Atlantic Regional Championship or not. I'm coming after you, and if that means I get to get my hands on gold, fantastic. But even if it doesn't, well, you can better believe that next year, I'm going to finish you once and for all. And he walks off. as the finals of the Hot Prospects tournament ends with Sean Carville defeating Logan Wolfspin with a trapping giant powerbomb. I think this is just a brawl of some sort. I think Carville's actually a high flyer, so there's a bit of a brawling going on while Carville tries to hit those Hurricane Ranas, tries to hit like a destroyer, come off the top rope with a senton maybe, some drop kicks, some outside stuff, but eventually Logan manages to turn the tables a little bit. Maybe Carville goes for some sort of dive to the outside, and Logan just catches him with a clothesline. Starts that brutal brawling style, just drops him on the guardrail outside the ring. Starts to turn the tables, but Carville's got that heart. You know, he's got that passion that we've seen from previous top stars here in MAW, and he fights back, and he will not stay down, and he picks up the pace, and he puts together a finishing sequence, and manages to lift the big man up and bring him down with a trapping giant powerbomb, and Sean Carville wins the Hot Prospects Tournament 2018. The last person to win it was, of course, American Elemental, and he is now competing for the Mid-Atlantic title tonight. So a huge year for him. And in the finale of the Coastal Zone tag team match tonight, good wrestling. Devil May Care defeated the Ring Generals when Acid and defeated Marv Stadler by pinfall with a jump the Sharks. Devil May Care make defense number 1 of their Mid-Atlantic tag team titles. Good stuff from these guys. It was the usual stuff, you know, Dean trying to isolate Stuntman. It was most of the match, good like 10 minutes, was Dean and Marv just keeping Stuntman in the corner. Quick tags, quick brutal submission maneuvers from Dean, and some nasty head drop kind of throws from Marv, you know, like hitting like Brainbuster in the corner, switching into Dean, starts working on his head, gets a nasty ripping back on a crossface on a guy that just got Brainbustered, nasty neck assaults on Stuntman, but eventually Dean is trying to work over a leg, and Stuntman hits like an enziguri and tags in Acid, who does the usual. It's weird. This has literally worked as if Devil May Care are the baby faces and Ring Generals are the heels, because Ring Generals are the technical guys and Devil May Care are the high flyers. But eventually, Acid gets tagged in. You know, big drop kick to Marv on the to Dean, on the outside, and then Hurricane Rana to put Marv in the corner. Big kick to the back of his head, middle of the ring, jump the shark, tag team maneuver, and 1, 2, 3. And Devil May Care, it's not a fluke, and that's exactly what they say when they get on the mics. They say, "You want to call us a fluke, Ring Generals? Well, we just proved that what we did at Where It All Begins Again is no fluke. We are some of the most formidable, the most dangerous, deadly, as much as that's your nickname, Dean, deadly tag teams in the business." This is Acid. We are willing to do whatever it takes to hold on to these Mid-Atlantic regional tag team championships. And you know what? We can do so much. We are some of the most athletic individuals in the entire world. And we are able to execute some of the most dangerous and high-octane maneuvers. Some of the stuff that you've never seen before. You can't scout Devil May Care. You can't scout Acid and Stuntman. You can't do it because you watch the tape. And we're doing things you've never seen before. We're coming up with new maneuvers on a daily basis. And you know what? Some of them hurt us as much as they hurt you. But you know what? It's worth it. Every scar, every cut, every concussion, every broken bone is worth it. Because at the end of the day, we get to go home. We're the highest paid tag team in the company. And you know why? Because we hold gold around our waists. And you know why we hold gold around our waists? Because the rest of this tag team division are a bunch of cowards. You wouldn't take an injury if it meant winning championship gold. Well, we would. We'd die for championship gold. Because championship gold is more important to us than life itself. And we don't care who we hurt or when we hurt them. We will go through anyone and everybody to prove that we are the greatest tag team in this company. Devil May Care on top of their game going into 2019 with a hell of a lot of momentum. And the lights go out, and a red spotlight appears, and Scythe, with his title, flanked by Vinnie Cruz, heads to the ring. The crowd, obviously scared of this giant demonic creature who is now their champion, their heavyweight champion. Scythe comes to the ring, and it is time for our main event. The Demon, Scythe, the champion, unstoppable, only lost twice this year. And one of those defeats was by disqualification in a match that the next month Scythe proved probably he could have won. And the other loss is against George Wolf, who he destroyed in a last man standing match mere months later. This is a different Scythe. This is a Scythe at the top of his game. This is a monster. This is a guy who, one of the greatest competitors in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling history, Island Boy Apollo, lost a lot of conviction fighting. You know, he saw into the eyes of the beast and he saw that there was no return. There is a void in those eyes. There is a void in that body. Scythe does not care. He takes pleasure in every little piece of pain. It's a different kind of attitude. We saw Devil May Care earlier. They're willing to put their bodies on the line. They're willing to take all that pain, all those broken bones, because they just want championship gold. They want that glory. It's not the same with Scythe. Scythe doesn't take these things for championship glory. He doesn't take these things because and brush them off because he knows it's worth it. No, he doesn't do that. What Scythe does, what Scythe's MO is that he enjoys that pain. That's what he lives for. He lives to take and inflict pain. He's the perfect adversary in professional wrestling because, quite frankly, you can't do something to him that he hates. He's in there every second, every day, just loving inflicting pain and taking pain. But the other guy on the other end of the ring is one of the most exciting rookies in the history of the business. Fast-paced American Elemental. And don't think all he's got is those high-risk maneuvers. Don't think all he is a risk-taker. Don't think that at all, because he's got those technical ground game. And at times this year he's had to use it, and he's used it well. He is a fast-paced technical wrestler at times. And he can get in there and he can work a technical match as good as anyone else on the roster. And, you know, Scythe, he could beat Island Boy Apollo. You do not want to get in a brawl fest with Scythe, because he's got you beat. He'll take those strikes and he'll throw them back. But who he's facing tonight is the complete opposite of a brawler. You got a guy who'll go to the top rope. You got a guy who'll take risks. But more importantly, you got a guy who can work you down, who can beat you through a game plan. And, you know, American Elemental, it might be a stylistic issue. I'm not saying American Elemental is better than Island Boy Apollo, but maybe, just maybe, he's better suited for a match with Scythe. So can American Elemental cap off? Can he cap off one of the greatest rookie years in the history of wrestling by winning a regional championship? No. In about the good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Scythe defeated American Elemental in 27 minutes and 22 seconds with an underworld spike. After Vinny Cruz interfered, Scythe makes defense number 1 of his Mid-Atlantic Championship title. So I like to think in this match, for the first 10 minutes or so, it's mainly Scythe dominating. You know, Scythe starts off the match, big lariat, big boot, a few kicks in the corner, and American Elemental realizes he's in a fight. And Scythe, you know, does a running boot to the corner, maybe a brain buster of some sort. Just brutalizing American Elemental. Every time American Elemental shows life, he just gets slapped down. Scythe just brutalizing, just busting him open. Blood starts pouring out of the mask. And Scythe realizes that, you know, he's in control. And American Elemental has to fight back. And around 10 minutes, he starts to, you know, he starts to realize that if he's going to have any chance tonight, he's going to fight back. He's got to pick up that pace. The technical wrestling hasn't worked. He hasn't been able to work in those holes. He hasn't been able to work down Scythe. He hasn't even been able to take him down yet. So he's got to get in there. He's got to have something, a little inch of opportunity. So he starts with the kicks to the leg. You know, it's something we saw with Island Boy Apollo and Giant Brody a couple months ago. Is that sometimes when you can't take someone down in a normal amateur wrestling manner, you've just got to take out one of their foundations. You've got to take out those building blocks, and eventually they will fall. And eventually he heads to the top rope and he does a drop kick from the top rope to the left leg, and Scythe manages to fall down to one knee. And then American Elemental, Hurricane Rana, and Scythe's down. Scythe's finally down. Big drop kicks, big clothesline to the outside, followed by a dive to the outside from American Elemental. And it seems like American Elemental has Scythe rattled. At this point, now he starts to work on that technical wrestling. He wants to keep Scythe down. He wants to work on that right leg. That's what he does. He just kicks. A leg drop from the top rope to the left leg, and then works in that ankle lock. You know, working in that toe hook, heel hook. You know, trying to lock him in. Some sort of, maybe a sharpshooter at some point, or a half Boston Crab. Just trying to work down that right leg, trying to work it down. You know, Scythe likes pain. You're not going to hurt Scythe. But what you might do is you might injure Scythe, and that's exactly what American Elemental tries to do. And around 22 minutes, because this goes on for quite a while, where Scythe, he gets a few shots in. You know, every now and then you'll see Scythe get a big forearm in, and it rattles our American Elemental. You know, it stops that technical prowess that you've been seeing most of the match for a second. But at this point, American Elemental is like a shark who smells his own blood. He's just, you know, he's not going to give up working on that right leg. He's just focusing on it every single second he can, just working on that right leg. And then Vinny Cruz starts to realize that Scythe is in danger. Scythe might not be on top in this match, and so he starts to distract the referee so Scythe can get in some low blows, because Scythe doesn't care. Scythe's a vicious creature, but you realize at this point that, you know, Scythe might not be as stupid as you might think. Of course, we haven't heard Scythe talk. He's got a handler, as I think it's Island Boy Apollo called him a handler, maybe it's George Wolf, in Vinny Cruz. But Scythe knows when the ref's distracted, and Scythe's willing to take advantage of that. Vicious, like raking at American Elemental's eyes, trying to take that mask off American Elemental. Of course, one of the most embarrassing things that could possibly happen to someone like him. And he just, you know, prevents it. He stops it, and it starts to turn into a really nasty, vicious match where you got American Elemental with blood just staining that mask, and Scythe is just ripping at that mask, and American Elemental has stopped now. He stopped being on top. He stopped being this technical, charismatic wrestler, and now he's just defending. He's curling up like a broken man, just trying his very best not to be demasked. Meanwhile, he's got blood all over his shoulders and his hands, and it's just a really nasty scene. And eventually, Scythe realizes he's got the momentum back, and he picks up American Elemental, a broken man almost, and Underworld Spike retains the Mid-Atlantic Regional Championship. But, you know, Scythe had to cheat to win. Maybe Scythe does have a weakness. Very good stuff from both guys to finish off the year. Absolutely proud of both men. And thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Check out the rest of the series. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you're feeling especially generous, particularly like the episode, go ahead and check out the link to my Patreon in the description. If you want to hear me ramble about stuff or sometimes have a creative input on the series, go ahead and check out my Twitter. Link to that is also in the description. Aside from that, I think it's time to end off the year, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed the journey this year. I think I ended up being a little bit more disparate this year than I was hoping. There were some plans that came off, that did indeed come off quite well. But nobody really left. I don't think there was anything that went wrong this year, honestly. So I hope it did seem coherent. I hope it came across quite well. There were a few shows in the middle there that I loved so much. Some of this stuff this year is some of the most fun to record stuff I've ever done. So I really hope it's coming across on camera. I really hope you're enjoying the series. And next month is going to be cool. I hope to introduce new people. I hope to have the start of a bigger and better year for MAW. You know, there are a few characters that have worse arcs next year than this year, I think. But everyone's got something to do, and I think it's time. I think we're going to see a bit more of an MAW feeling next year, because it's going to be all about non-MAW talent coming in and working with MAW talent, and all about younger guys working with older guys. And I think we're going to progress guys that we've built here, and guys that we've given characters to here, and I mean, it's going to be a normal year. It's going to be a normal year. So I really hope that you guys will join me for that, and let me know what you thought of 2018 in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you'll join me for the Ripcord Invitational, the fourth one we're doing in the series. I think it's 14th overall, or maybe it's the 15th. I can't remember. Who will win? Who will start the year off right? And more importantly, can anyone stop Scythe? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.